These are 4 reasons why we're enjoying our long distance relationship, and hopefully they can be helpful to you guys as well.
The first thing that we have found to be super cool about like being in a long distance is how easy it is for us to travel. And because I mean, like, we have to travel by nature to see each other. So like, if you're gonna travel, you might as well travel to somewhere cool.
Yeah, we've been to Nashville. I went up to Maryland. We were in Georgia for a little bit. I'm
Virginia,
down in South Florida, Virginia, North
Tampa.
Carolina, Tampa, St. Pete.
Yeah.
A lot of places.
To be fair, I live in Maryland, so while we were driving up, we got to stop in like North Carolina. Then he was in Tennessee for some time, which is really cool.
Yeah, so we really got to explore different places around the country, where if we were both still in Orlando, we probably wouldn't have got that opportunity or even thought about going different places.
Yeah, we would have just, I mean, we stayed in that hub basically all of undergrad anyhow.
So another benefit we found is we really get to grow in our communication with one another.
Yeah.
So like forced.
You need to talk to me.
Forced by like phone call. Like I can't drive around the block and say, hey, in person, or we can't go on a coffee date.
Yeah.
Like having to have phone call conversations
if you want
every
to
day.
if you want to connect with me, you have to talk to me. You have no other choice.
Yeah, it's not like oh, you're having a bad day, let me hug you. It's, oh, you're having a bad day, let me talk to you.
Let's talk through. Tell me
Which
what
is
you're
not
feeling.
always the best option.
Tell me your feeling. Yeah. Especially like if it's like one of those days I'm just stressed. If I'm stressed and everything is annoying, it's just like
so talking
this,
through
and this and this and this and another.
So while that is not necessarily a benefit of long distance, communication in general, talking through some stuff is healthy.
Even though, yes, there could be easier alternatives like going out, getting cookies, or getting a hug when, you know, life is stressful and things are happening and probably don't want to talk through it. I think that still has been a benefit because it still it forced me to actually understand like what's going on.
We're like a year in, and so we definitely grown since last, September. A year ago today, flashback was not very good, but we were learning. We were willing to go through the suck so that we can get to, you gotta go through the suck. Which is just like...
Is there another word? You gotta go through the suck. Gotta go through the valley to get to the mountain.
Because you'll learn that communication is not... I always tell her this all the time. She doesn't like it. I don't think so.
I love it.
Oh yeah. So communication is not so much what the person is saying as what the person is hearing.
Yeah. I like it because usually it's him saying that he was bad at communicating when it was really me just misinterpreting what he was saying. So I love that he takes the responsibility. But if you were to tell me, you were bad at communicating because it's not about what you're saying, it's about what I'm hearing, then I probably wouldn't like it. Can you imagine? You're a bad communicator because that's not what I was hearing.
That's a part of communication. You learn how to take ownership of what you can control.
It's kind of growth.
And it's growth. And so that's why we found it to be really beneficial, because if we were in person, like a lot of times when we do have our stretches of being in person, we don't communicate our feelings or talk through things.
Talking is not your thing. Being on the phone was not your thing. Especially when you're going through MPD, like you're on the phone all day and then you have to go back on the phone. And it can get frustrating, like constantly looking at screens. When I have to go through my periods of like just reading on the screen, like we didn't want to be on the phone. So it didn't just grow in communication in like the physical sense, but also the communication of what we desire, like our goals for each other. Because like, yeah, even though this may not be the thing that I desire to do the most, like I desire you above that. So.
And that can lead us into point number 3.
Yeah, what was that?
Being more intentional and making time for each other, and also just being like creative with date ideas, and because you really got to make space, you know. If you have a busy day, like she works sometimes, like she wakes up at like 6 and starts working at 7 and then we'll work literally until like 6 or 7 p.m.
Oh, my class ends.
Whenever her class ends,
and then I eat,
and then she eats, and then like I get off work, and I'm like free, but then she's like works better at night, and so it's just like, okay. But it's like knowing that we both have busy schedules, it's like, okay, that doesn't make an excuse to like not make time, not talk. not have a date. And so we've learned to be more intentional of like, all right, when are you free? I'm free, I can talk this time. And not necessarily making it so rigid and scheduled, even though that is helpful and beneficial. You can still have spontaneous times of talking where it's like, oh, I'm getting off work, I'll give you a call.
Yeah.
Or I just got out of a meeting, I'll give you a call. And not every time, because then it can just be like too robotic. But you know, those times where you're just wanting to do something spontaneous. She may not know I want to call her after I get off work or after I do something, but I know in my mind I'm going to be intentional to make that effort, or even send a text or send a Marco Polo, which is like a short video note or voice message. And so these little points of connection, I don't know.
Yeah, I used to say that a lot. Yeah, I used to be like, I don't know, just trying to find these little points of connection.
Yeah, and it goes a huge way because you're not physically close to the person, and so sometimes they can feel forgotten, or they can be in the back of your mind. You never want them to feel like they're an afterthought or on the back burner.
It could be very easy to be like, out of sight, out of mind, like, this is my life, and like, I make time for you when I make time for you. So like, that's not what we're saying either. It's actually like the opposite, because it's a lot easier to give them your leftovers.
So you gotta be intentional and have fun with it. You know, it's just not like, oh, how was your day?
My day was good.
All right, cool. What'd you do? Same thing I did yesterday. You know, spice it up.
We play the games.
We play games. This shout out, not sponsored, but Lovewick app. Check it out. She found it. It's actually pretty dope.
Yeah. We went through a lot of different like apps, and that one really stuck. They have like these random questions you can ask. It's really cool.
Yeah. So we enjoy doing that, or we watch movies a lot. We're going through the X-Men series.
We went through shows, Superstore.
Books too.
But yeah. Books together. One of the things I think like really brought us together was our desire to grow. And like one of your friends, like a lot of our conversation was about like, oh, how are you growing in this way? Are you growing in that way? This is what I want to do. This is how I'm getting there. And just like encouraging each other. So I love that we're able to continue that even though we were distanced. And so like whatever your foundation was for your friendship, continuing to build on that and not like let that part be left down, just focusing on the romanticized part, which is probably another benefit that we should have added. It was just like, you get to really strengthen that foundation. Obviously God, first and foremost. There's like, hey, well, what are those like other things that you related with? You know, you're obviously not just a good spiritual brother to me, pal. There are things that like you did that, or things about our friendship that meant more. So like, how do I continue to grow in that? So like for us, it was that growth thing. So reading books that were about ourselves, but being able to talk through that with each other, like as he's learning about himself, I'm learning about him too, and like vice versa. That was really cool to me. That was special.
Yeah. So be creative with it. Dinner dates, you know, cook with each other online.
Yeah. Or random hangouts. When we started our relationship, we thought that we would see each other like once every 2 months, if that.
She thought 4 months.
I did. I thought we were going to see each other like beginning of the semester, end of the semester.
Like, drop you off in August, see you in December.
No, that was my expectation. Everything else also sounded like really extra. Like, because I knew what my schedule would be like. And I wasn't good at balancing for like friendships, let alone a relationship and like school.
Yeah.
So I just thought it would be too much. But thankfully, we've seen each other every month. Except for 1 or 2 months.
God's grace.
Like literally God's grace. And not all of them were planned.
And even if you can plan out months in advance. So like last year we were able to plan something in October, and it was like August or September.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. Oh. We did. And the beginning of this year, I planned to be there in February.
And number 4, the sappiest of them all. This is simp mode. It helps you to grow in your love and in your trust. Because, boop, I hate that. In all seriousness, if you don't trust your homeboy
or homegirl, then
who you finna do a long distance relationship? Like that hurts. Definitely not work. Like that, like you can literally have a double life, and I would not know.
And vice versa. Yeah.
Like I gotta trust that. Like when I ask you how your day is, what's the football term?
Play by play.
Play by play. When we going through the playbook,
I'm running it.
That you're actually running it.
No trick plays.
I've been watching All American. I used to think that it was really obnoxious to know like everything that's going on. But now it's not even that I feel like I need it, because honestly I don't, but it's nice to know that like, oh, you want to tell me. So now if like, oh, if I don't hear from Chris, I'm not freaking out like, oh my gosh. She's like, oh, he's probably sleeping or he's busy. By you being open and honest and us like really building that trust, there's even more freedom now.
And we're not saying that you can't get this at all in an in-person relationship, like at all. But being long distance, we found that any of these things. Yeah. But we found that being long distance, this is putting us in a position to be open and honest, to be trustworthy and be trustworthy and trusting to your person. Yeah. Because you really don't know. You don't see them all day, every day. You only see them when you pick up the phone. Yeah. And if you have a day where you can't really get on the phone, then it's just trusting that, okay, they may have a busy day, they're tired, and it's just understanding like that's just is what it is, and it's okay.
Allowing you to be human still.
Allowing you to be human. One
thing that you said, I don't even know if you remember, but when we first started dating, I don't know if guys feel this too, but I guess I can speak as a female. Like, you feel these pressures that like culture has placed on you of like, this is what a good girlfriend is, and like this is how you're supposed to relate, how you're supposed to act. Makeup, for example, like just little things like that. When your natural hair, like it ain't looking good all day, every day. And like feel like, oh, I gotta like clean myself up, you know? Oh, gospel, get ready. I gotta clean myself up in order to be loved and accepted, right? But like from the jump, you were like, no, like I want to know who you are, like the you that chills at home, the you that like doesn't have to like perform. Like you made very clear, like I want to get to know you because like you are the person that I want to fall in love with. And honestly, Tor, like if that doesn't, like if we're not connecting because my real me and your real you aren't connecting, then it's better to know that now than to find out years down the line. It was scary. It was scary to be that kind of like, it took us to deeper levels of like vulnerability, but it was worth it, right? Yeah,
it's definitely intimidating, especially if you haven't been vulnerable or if you have a fear of rejection like I did, and still do sometimes, but God has helped me get over it. I just realized, God revealed it through past relationships that, if you're fake and the person falls in love with that fake person, you're just like, well,
you're stuck in that, or they're gonna leave.
Yeah, exactly. Or then you're gonna feel exhausted, you're gonna feel two-faced, you're gonna always have to feel like you need to wear a mask. And I was just like, I'm tired
just
of it.
As you are.
And she helped it like tremendously, me be myself, and I just love getting to know her, and I encourage her to be herself, because just like I can tell sometimes, and I probably do it too, when you're like wanting to impress.
One thing that he used to do, because men are supposed to have like clarity and direction, and like they gotta know everything. He used to, I'm the type of person, like I drill. I could ask a lot of questions, like, and he used to try to like just spitball, like give me stuff back, but it was not helping either of us. So like part of him being himself was like just being able to give me the honest answers of I don't know. And for me not to take that as I don't care.
Again, what did they hear? What did they say?
I don't know. So you don't care?
Right.
So you really haven't even thought of like, am I a fling?
Not what I'm saying at all.
Not what he's saying at all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you got little nuggets from our story. Not that we have it figured out, we're figuring it out, hence the growing part. No, seriously. He literally adamantly told me I would never get in a long distance relationship. And when he asked me to be his girlfriend again, like, I adamantly was like, I don't want to do a long distance relationship. So for two people that really did not want to be in one, we've really found the benefits of it and are, willing, I would say, to continue because of those benefits. So it's not always easy, but there's a lot of jewels hidden within it. So where we're at right now is a testimony in and of itself. And I share a little bit more about like my journey after we broke up the first time, and getting to a place where I am able to be healthy in this relationship and get through these challenges. Obviously, God, him, it's all been helpful. So like, go back to that last video, watch it. It'll be really encouraging. Life is not meant to be done alone, so let's do it together. Bye. It's not what's convenient. This is not convenient. Sorry to tell you.
It's not convenient. But it is worth it.
Aw.
This one.
That was cute.
Not planned.
It wasn't.
It wasn't in the script.